students, today I am going to take a class on the Jacobean Age. The Jacobean period is one of the periods of English literature. Though this period is not a very long period, the period or the age started in 1603 and continued up to 1625. Jacobean Age was named after the name of King James. King James had another Latin name which was actually Jacobus, and after the name of Jacobus, Jacobean period was named. If we discuss the characteristics of this age, we will find that during this period, William Shakespeare was still alive, because Shakespeare died in 1616, and which was actually in the middle of the Jacobean period. And Ben Jonson was also still alive. And so some writings of William Shakespeare and Ben Jonson are actually written and published during the Jacobean period. And we can mention the name of Macbeth, Tempest. These writings were written during the Jacobean period. But apart from these two writers, if we focus on the Jacobean period, then we will find some characteristics which reflect that Jacobean period was totally opposite to the Elizabethan period. Jacobean period is actually the period of stress and tension. There was huge tension during this period, and there was the spirit of rebellion, rebelliousness in the tendency of the people. And during this period, there were many fractions, religious fractions, particularly, there was the fraction between Roman Catholics and Protestantism. And Protestantism was going to be powerful, more powerful day by day. And there was always a sort of conflict, violence between Protestantism and Catholics during this period. And party conflicts had also been grown during this period. And if we talk about, other characteristics of this age, then we will find that a kind of the growth of atheism was found during this period, though there was the religious literature, but a kind of atheism had been flourished, developed during this period. And as we find during the Elizabethan period, there was the development of different type of drama writings, and particularly revenge tragedies were very much flourishing during the Elizabethan period. And during the Jacobean period, there was the continuation of the writing and the publication of the revenge tragedies. But the plot construction of the tragedies were very much, weak in comparison to the Elizabethan period. And the selection of the subject matter of the writings were also not very much satisfactory. Poor selection of the subject matter. Emergence of vulgarities, it was also another, trend of literature during this period. And it seemed that the taste of the audience had been, downgraded actually during this period. Though some writers attempted to write some, sophisticated writings, but there was the gap between the taste and the creativity. And during this period, we find the growth of sensationalism. Sentimentalism was actually flourished during this period, and in literature there was the melodramatic element. There were the melodramatic elements in literature. And we find that there was the decadence in the plot construction, there was the decadence in the selection of the language, there was the decadence in the selection of the subject matter. And so during this period we find some decadent plays, and that decadent dramas are significantly found during the Jacobean period actually. So we find this type of things in literature and in society during the Jacobean period. And if we talk about the writers, then we will find that there was the influence of two famous writers during the Elizabethan period. One was, Francis Bacon. Francis Bacon had a significant influence on the prose writers during this period. And also another writer was, Machiavelli, who had also a great influence on the writers of, Jacobean period. So if we talk about the writers of this period, then we will find that there were some famous writers during this period. One is John Maston. John Maston is one of the significant writers of this period. John Maston had written some writings such as Antonio's Revenge, Antonio and Merida, and the Malcontent. Thomas Dekker is another writer of this period. Thomas Dekker had written The Shoemaker's Holiday, The Honest Folk. Thomas Heywood is another writer of this period. Thomas Heywood had written, A Women Killed with Kindness, The English Traveller. These are the writings of Thomas Heywood. Thomas Middleton had written Women Beware of Women. And Philip Messenger is another writer of this period. Philip Messenger had written The City Madam, The Duke of Milan. John Webster is considered to be the most significant dramatist of the Jacobean period. And John Webster had written two remarkable dramas during this period. One is The Duchess of Malfi, and another is The White Devil. And John Webster had written the decadent plays, in which he had attempted to focus on the decadence of the society during this period. And then we have found Jeremy Taylor. Jeremy Taylor focused on religious elements in writings, and he had written The Holy Living, The Holy Dying. The Holy Living, The Holy Dying. Both are, full of Christian moralities. Thomas Fuller was another writer of this period. Thomas Fuller had written The Holy Work, The Holy Estate. And Isaac Walton is another writer of this period. Isaac Walton had written a writing named The Complete Angler. And if we talk about other prose writers, then we will find two remarkable prose writers during this period who were directly influenced by Francis Bacon. One is Thomas Browne. Thomas Browne had written Religio Medici. Religio Medici is very much remarkable writing of this period. And The Urn Burials is another writing. The Christian Morals. These are the writings of Thomas Browne. And Thomas Burton had written the Anatomy of Melancholy during this period. So these are the characteristics as well as the writers of the Jacobean period. So if you try to focus on these things, then you will definitely understand the period well. And if you want to know something more comprehensively about the history of English literature, then I will suggest you to read this book, The History of English Literature, written by me. Here you will find comprehensive things of literature, which may be very much effective for your better understanding of literature. Thanks to all of you for your patient hearing.